Well, growing up was very interesting. I was the last born of four, 2 boys, 2 girls, and all my siblings were 10 years, 11 years, and 13 years older than me, respectively. That was very interesting because I got to learn a lot from them really quickly. So I'll say I grew up pretty quickly and also learned how to be quite smart as well because I learned a lot from the older ones, mixing with them, mixing with their friends as well, while also being sport. So it was very interesting growing up for me where I got the mix of both sides. When I went to the University of Lagos, of course, I did my NYSC, which is actually in the school. So I got to teach for my NYSC in a school in Surah area of Lagos Island. And then I proceeded to work with Astro Soccer Nigeria Limited, who was a company that introduced five-a-side football through the use of the AstroTurf, which is like this unique pitch, the unique pitch that people who play football use. So that was where I worked, and this was where I developed a lot of the core skills because I had to work from admin to sales to stadium management, and I saw it grow from scratch, like typically from when there was nothing on the land to how we built those stadiums. And I owe a lot to the MD, who was Mr. Ademoroti, who I learned a lot from. Having gone through that phase, I think my life started to form around the fact that, look, challenges can only make you better. And out of every problem is always an opportunity for you to be able to succeed. And that's how I saw it, and I believe that's one of the things that's helped me through life. Well, yeah, for me, my parents were very relational across diverse kinds of relationships. My dad was good relationships, even though he was a strict man, but absolutely loved him. But my mom was very big. I mean, my mom used to take us everywhere. I mean, this is where we used to visit people in their houses. I used to stay over in people's houses. So from then on, I built that love and desire for true relationships. No matter what, strata of society they belong to, I could just build relationships. I go somewhere and I'm able to relate with everybody. I'm able to connect with everybody, and I've seen that in my life as well. Open doors for me. So I know that every opportunity I've gotten is all still based on these relationships. And I found myself having to always connect people. People contact you and say, oh, do you know this? Can you help me with this? And I'm wondering, okay, why am I always the connecting point? And I guess it's because it's just about the relationships one has built over time and what I've learned from my parents. Why shouldn't a first class graduate not come into the public sector? First class graduates should be in the public sector because the public sector creates the enabling environment for the private sector. Without the public sector creating an enabling environment, the private sector would always struggle. So if you're that smart and if you've done really well in your undergrad, then the place you want to get to is in the public sector to contribute and bring that intelligence and that brilliance into that sector that determines a lot in the society. To be honest, if you're going in with the mindset that, look, I want to be rich, then you've probably missed the reason why you're in government in the first place, and you probably won't last in government because you're in government to serve people, and in serving people at the same time as well, you will be rewarded as the system condones. Because what you have and what you've seen is that a lot of the times people will get into the office, and because of the pressures, it still goes back to who you really are. What is your drive? You can't say that you really have good intentions for citizens and your drive is all you want to go and do there is make money, and you'll never be able to make any impact. You might as well just never talk about impact and know that that's what you went there for. So I think rich is relative. I think you will be okay to live a life which is comfortable enough for you to be able to say, look, I can take care of my family, I can meet my needs, but at the same time, most importantly, I'm able to impact the lives of people and derive value. There's a big misconception about government, and that's what it speaks to. The fact that your passion dies out. No, it's who you are, your person. You know, what the role will probably just do is that it amplifies what you have on the inside of you. And I think that for anyone, it's very, very important that your true character is what you bring to the table in government. And so it also speaks to who were you really before you got into government. It speaks to the private sector as well. Just because the public sector, you're in the public glare, you're more out there, and that's why your life is all out there. But even private sector, it happens as well. But I think it still goes back to the character of the person. And if your character is, I want to be purpose-driven, I have this passion, and you go in there as well, you can make things work. They keep saying government, there's problems, but every society has problems. Some societies have just learned how to turn those problems into opportunities. And in every problem, there are always loads of opportunities. So I think coming into the public sector, you must have a plan. That, okay, this is the sector I'm in. I must drop and draft out a plan. You know, I must set all my goals and objectives with timelines. I must understand my stakeholders, because a lot of the times, a lot of people in government don't understand and know their stakeholders. They're not able to manage their stakeholders effectively. And that leads to, you know, the crumbling or the failure of a lot of initiatives or projects. If you understand your stakeholders, are able to manage your stakeholders, and are able to then drive your results based on your plan, you will definitely be able to succeed. So anyone trying to come into the public sector, you must have a plan. Well, my most memorable time in life was when I finished with the 3rd class of the University of Lagos, because I can never forget an advice one of my mentors said to me. He said, you know what, let this be a springboard for you in life. And that's what led me to then be able to go for an MBA and finishing with a distinction. Now letting me know that no matter what has happened in the past, it doesn't determine your present or your future. So for me, it's to let everyone know that a particular setback can actually be a setup for your progress in life.